Hello everyone, and welcome to another mini common art session. My name is Marcela Grobet. I'm a neurolanguage coach, professional neurolanguage coach, and I am also a mediator for the development of intelligence through art, or in this case, as I apply it, for the development of language through art. And well, today we are starting session number 2 or video number 2 with another very interesting topic, the amygdala hijack. I don't know if you have ever heard of this, the amygdala hijack. What is hijack? Hijack is, well, not a very good thing. Hijack is when somebody, let's say, takes a person and makes them their hostage, keeps them to ask for a reward or something like that. It's something that we would never like to live, definitely. And the amygdala, we will see later on, is a part of the brain, of the midbrain, or that is in charge of emotions, basically. Okay, I'm not going to go very deeply into this, but just to explain in this moment why we have called this session the amygdala hijack, because the intention of today is to learn and discuss about fears and how to control them in order to avoid anxiety. Yes, we have felt afraid, maybe not only once, but many times we have felt afraid in our lives. But we must learn how to control our fears in order to avoid anxiety and be able to react in a positive way. First of all, we will do an exercise to concentrate, to focus, so that we can explore this session very nicely. In this case, it's a mindful mindful exercise. Okay, an exercise related to mindfulness. This activity that through our breathing connects with ourselves, with the here and now. Then we're going to watch a short film, talk a little bit about the film, and discuss about exactly what is amygdala hijack and what happens inside our brains when we feel frightened about something. We will explore words that refer to other common fears or phobias, and, well, some advice here and there of some activities that you can do when you start to feel afraid, and what you can do in order to control this fear and to avoid anxiety. And we will finish with a quote. Okay, so ready to start? Let's go with this exercise that is called brain and heart coherence. Okay, so when we I mean, in different moments in our days, our brain waves move in different frequencies. Sometimes they are very fast, and especially when we are anxious, when we're afraid, when we are stressed, our brain waves move very fast. If we are concentrated, if we are having a nice time, if we are focused on an activity, then the brain waves might move a little slower. Okay, there is a lot of brain activity, but it's not as fast as when we are anxious or stressed. When we are at deep sleep, they move very slowly. But we cannot see and we cannot control our brain waves. Well, you can see them if you go into an electroencephalogram or something like that with special equipment where doctors can measure your brain waves. But in our daily lives, we cannot see our brain waves. We can feel some reactions in our bodies, especially in our heart. And sometimes we feel that the heart is bumping so fast. Sometimes we feel it's bumping in a relaxed and controlled manner. we can control our heartbeats through our respiration or breathing. We cannot tell our heart, stop beating so fast, relax, but we can make it relax through breathing in and breathing out. So what I would like you to do is to place your hand, whether it's one finger, two fingers, or the whole hand, and find your heart. Concentrate on your heart beating. Can you feel it? Focus your attention towards the heart. And start breathing in and out. But each time, try to make it slower. Make it slow. Make it low. Feel it on your stomach, how your stomach is inflating and deflating as a balloon, just like a balloon. Make it deep. Slower every time. You can do this exercise with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. And as you do this, while you are paying attention to your heartbeat, activate a positive feeling. This moment, we are going to remember a moment when maybe you felt afraid for something that was coming, but you were able to control this fear. You were able to handle the situation. You overcame the situation. Remember that moment of success in your life. What happened? What is it that you had to face? What did you do to control your fear and to overcome the situation? Keep breathing, deep, slow. Put a smile on your face because you were able to react positively towards that situation. Pay attention to your heartbeat. Is it going slower? Recap this moment. What were you wearing? Where were you? Who was in front of you? Or who was behind you? What did you do? What was the result or the outcome? Recognize the feeling. Right? Let's take a deep breath in. Hold and breathe out. Start moving your shoulders. You can stretch a little bit. And when you are ready, open your eyes. This kind of breathing exercise, connecting your heart with your brain, brings synchronicity or coherence to your brain, and it can help you avoid these moments when you feel really stressed or anxious about something. Bringing positive memory helps you overcome other difficult situations. All right, let's move on. And later on, I will share an anecdote about myself. We're going to watch right now a short video called Fear. You can find this video on YouTube. I am going to take it from YouTube and share it with you so that we can watch it over here. It's only about 2 minutes long. I don't own the rights for this video. I am using it only for educational purposes. So I hope that you enjoy it. And then we are going to explore what it is about. Are we ready to share? To view? Okay. So please just watch silently and notice what is happening. Don't worry, the video doesn't have any voices, any speech in English or anything like that. Just watch and enjoy. All right then. So we have watched this short video about fear, and I would like to ask you if you want to share your comments. I will gladly read them and reply to them. So what would you like to mention about the video? What called your attention? What's the black furry friend that everyone has on their shoulders or on their backs, except for the main character in the film, this young guy? Yes, those are fears. So this guy was fearless. He didn't feel any fear at all. He was brave, but he was also careless in many ways. So why didn't he want the black furry thing at first? When he had the accident, the doctor prescribed him a black furry thing, a little bit of fear. But why did he reject it at first? And what made him change his mind? So think of a moment when you felt really scared. How did you react? Did you flight? Did you fight? Or did you freeze? Have you ever felt fearless? Maybe you are the kind of people who don't fear anything. Maybe you just go for it, regardless of the consequences. Why do we have these reactions about fear, these reactions towards something that is threatening us? Would you say it's good or is it bad to have some fear? What are the advantages of fear? When we feel afraid, our body has different reactions, and that brings alert to whatever we are doing. Have you noticed if you have ever felt afraid of something? Have you felt these changes in your body? So let's explore a little bit what happens in our brains, why some people really feel scared about talking in public like the first person, or being in a closed space in an elevator, or being afraid of a certain animal, like the person who was afraid of mice. And then we will come to a conclusion why in the film, what they want to say is that it is okay to have fears, but it is better to learn to control them. So what happens in our brains? Okay, let's explore this. We have what we call amygdala hijack. As I mentioned before, our brain is formed by especially or basically three parts. We have the brainstem that connects to the rest of the body via the spinal cord. It's right here in the back. We have in the middle of the brain, we have the midbrain. And then we have the cortex or the thinking brain. The amygdala is a part of our brains that is in the midbrain, is in the middle of our brains. And it is in charge of regulating some emotions like fear. So when there is a threatening situation, let's imagine that you will have to give a presentation at school or at work, and your brain considers this as a threatening situation. Your brain is going to perceive that as something really threatening, really menacing to you. And this has to do with well, many years ago, when the cavemen lived in caves, and there were mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and other clans that were really threatening them. The brain is built, or the brain is built, and the amygdala is there to protect us from danger, to keep us alive. So this is a normal reaction, a normal situation. Of course, if there's an earthquake, you're going to start feeling these reactions because you need to keep yourself safe. If there's a, I don't know, a dog or a bad person trying to do something harmful to you, your body is going to react because your body has to decide what action to take. So Okay, there's a threatening situation in the outside world, outside of you. And in the midbrain, there's a part called the thalamus that receives the stimuli or the stimulus. The thalamus decides what to do, to say it in a certain way. So the thalamus regulates the reactions, and at the same time, it signals the amygdala and the cortex. But because the amygdala is closer than the cortex, the amygdala receives the alarm first. Beep, 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 beep. There's danger, okay? Are we in a dangerous situation? The amygdala reacts, and the amygdala starts thinking, are we going to fight? Are we going to flight or run away? Or are we going to freeze? When there's a situation like I told you, an earthquake, for example, maybe you have lived an earthquake and you have seen that some people just freeze and don't know what to do. And they are really shaking and sweating and they don't move, they paralyze. Other people just get out of the building, get out of the place. They don't care why, how. They don't care about the other people. They just want to get out. And there are other people who fight. How? Well, you cannot fight an earthquake, but they take action. They start telling people what to do, or I don't know, directing or controlling the situation, trying to control the situation for the other people, etc. These are decisions taken in a split second, okay? The signal hasn't reached the cortex yet. It is just in the amygdala. And the body starts releasing adrenaline. Adrenaline is a hormone and a neurotransmitter that what makes is to prepare the body for action. How does it do it? Well, you start to feel that your heart is pumping faster. Why is this? Because your heart needs to pump more blood to your body. You have a high blood pressure because you're getting more blood to your veins, through your veins. You start breathing faster. You need oxygen also to take action, yes. There's intense sweating. Why? Because if you're going to run away, then the sweat, what does is to regulate the body temperature. All of these are normal reactions to prepare your body for whatever you have to do. There's shaking, and there may even be a nausea. You want to vomit. Yes, you feel nauseous. You feel nauseous. Okay. The signal gets to the cortex. But the cortex has difficulty to receive the signal because the amygdala has hijacked your thinking brain. The amygdala has taken control over your thinking brain. You cannot think many times. You cannot react positively. You just freeze, or you just run away or flight, or you just fight back without considering the situation. You punch a guy on the nose without or regardless of the consequences. There are other hormones also being released, hormones like cortisol. It's hard to concentrate. There is no clear thinking. This is when we really are afraid of something, or we have some phobias, okay? Now, let's just remember that there might be real threatening situations And there might be imaginary situations. People with deep phobias even get these reactions when the threatening situation isn't there, when they are just imagining this situation. That's the difference between fear and phobia, basically, okay? So if I am afraid of spiders because I had a bad experience with a spider and I see a spider coming, if I'm just afraid of them, I might think logically and look at it and see that it's not dangerous and get my chancla or my shoe and smash it. Or if the situation was too bad that I have arachnophobia or phobia to spiders, I might paralyze even if I see a photograph of a spider. Even if somebody mentions the word spider, my body starts having these reactions. So this is the amygdala hijack. You see, summarizing very quickly, there is a threatening situation, real or imaginary. Your amygdala gets the signal, your amygdala reacts, your amygdala takes control of all your reactions. The amygdala doesn't allow you to think clearly, to concentrate clearly, and you just paralyze or run away or fight back without being aware of the consequences. Now, what can we do if we ever feel afraid or anxious in order to avoid this amygdala hijack and allowing this 10 seconds to think clearly? I don't know if it happened to you, but to me, well, or in my time, we used to say count to 10, count to 10. Yes? And breathe in and breathe out. Because these 10 seconds or 5 seconds, count to 5, it's okay, will allow your cortex or your thinking brain to get the signal and to know how to act towards this situation that looks very frightening. So yes, take 5, breathe in, breathe out, and take your mind somewhere else, maybe in the here and the now, or close your eyes and imagine, as the exercise we did at the beginning, imagine something positive, something where you felt fearless, something where you were able to overcome the threat, something where when you felt powerful. Mindfulness is the practice of being in the here and now, even if we sometimes take our mind back to a memory. I will tell you my story very briefly. Well, it happened many years ago. My children were teenagers and we were camping. I was the only woman there. Well, they loved camping and they loved hiking, walking in the woods. So we were hiking and there was a little stream, not a river really, it was just a stream of water. And we had to cross it through a log, walking through a log. I was so afraid. I paralyzed. I didn't dare to walk on that log. Everybody else was on the other side of the log. I was the only one standing here and the rest was already on the other side of the log. And I had to go. And everybody was yelling at me, come on. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. Come on, walk. It's not so difficult. So I took 5. Yes, I started breathing in and out and I started to visualize myself on the other side of the log. So very carefully, yes, because I was afraid, very carefully, step by step, I was able to cross the log. I felt powerful. I felt that I got it. And this experience has helped me in different moments of my life. When I have to go through a difficult situation, I just close my eyes. I visualize myself crossing this stream of water on the log, and it brings me the confidence I need to overcome the situation. Well, what other thing you can do? All right, so let's give massage to our ears from top to bottom while breathing. Inhale in 3, retain, and exhale in 3. Massaging ears stimulates the midbrain, okay, and connects the midbrain with the thinking brain. Another activity that you can do if you have access to some ice or cold water, really cold water, you can put it on the back of your neck, okay? Just take the piece of ice and rub it on the back of your neck. Why? Because over here in the brain stem, we have the, well, the origin of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a nerve that runs all through our bodies, touching the main organs or connecting the brain with the main organs. So activating the vagus nerve is going to give signals to our heart, to our stomach, to the rest of our body that we can manage the situation. Another thing that you can do is to give yourself nail puncture on your head, all right? So you just massage, okay? Giving little pressure on your head to activate circulation while you breathe in and breathe out. Do this for a couple of seconds or minutes, all right? Activate circulation in your brain. And the last activity that I want to share with you is, yes, to face the situation. Open your eyes and be realistic. What is really going on? Are you really facing a saber-toothed tiger? Or is it just that you have to speak in public and you have it you have everything under control because you prepared yourself, you have your presentation ready, you have your speech ready, everything is okay, and you can do it. So be careful, be attentive, control your heartbeat with your breathing, and go for it. Yes? So it was basically just what I did when I was crossing the log that I told you. I faced the situation, breathing in and out, relaxing, and seeing that if my ex-husband was able to cross it, if my children were able to cross it, I could cross it too. I controlled my fear, but I was attentive and I was careful. These are some examples of exercises that you can do when you feel afraid. Now, I'm going to share with you another quick game, a matching game, all right? Can you guess the meaning of these fears? We have some names over here. Some of them are easy to relate because, well, they are based on Greek, and many words in Spanish are also based in Greek or in Latin. So if you speak Spanish as your first language, it might be easy for you to guess what they are, and the words are very similar in Spanish. But let's go to the game, okay? What is acrophobia, agoraphobia, arachnophobia, enochlophobia, glossophobia, homophobia, hypochondria, nyctophobia, seismophobia, triskaidekaphobia? Oh my God, difficult word. xenoglossophobia, and xenophobia. Ready to play the game? Let's go. So here we are. Let's play this game that has to do with common phobias. Match the answer right to the common phobias. What do they mean? Fear of foreigners. How do we call this? Maybe you already know. Yes? When we are afraid of the American, the Chinese, the Jewish people, I don't know, the people who live in another state in our country, whoever, we are afraid of foreigners. We have xenophobia. Now, fear of speaking a foreign language. This concerns us very much because many people are afraid of speaking English. They know English, but when they have to use it, they are so frightened that they paralyze, even if they have the knowledge. We saw that xenophobia is fear of foreigners. So which word do you think is fear of speaking a foreign language? If you thought of xenoglossophobia, you were glosso. Think of the word glossary, or in Spanish, glossario. It's like a set of words, all right? So xenoglossophobia is the fear of speaking a foreign language. I hope you don't have it. And if you have it, well, I can help you get rid of it. Fear of getting sick. I'm sure that you have known or you have listened to this word, the kind of people that usually or constantly go to the doctor because, oh, doctor, I might have cancer in my brain because I have a headache. Or, oh, doctor, I might have gastritis because I felt some pain in my stomach. Fear of getting sick are the people who suffer from hypochondria. They are called hypochondriacs. Let's go for the next one. Fear of spiders. You know it because we have the same word in Spanish. How do we say spider in Spanish? Araña. So it is arachnophobia. Easy one for you, arachnophobia. Let's go for the next one. Fear of number 13. Wow, a difficult one. Can you find it? How do we say 3 in Spanish? How do we say 10 in Spanish? Or how do we say decena? Decena. Yes, so people who fear number 13 have triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia. That's why some hotels don't have floor 13 or I don't know, some airplanes, at least in the past, didn't used to have row 13 because many people were or are afraid of number 13. Fear of open spaces. What is this? When you don't want, well, or people who don't want to get out of their homes, people who don't want to be in the streets, people who don't want to be like in an auditorium or something like this, they have agoraphobia. Next one, fear of earthquakes. An easy one. Yes? How do we say earthquake in Spanish? Sismo. So to have fear of earthquakes when, I mean, yes, I understand. We all fear earthquakes because we have lived perhaps a bad experience towards an earthquake. But when you are really frightened about it, just the idea of imagining there could be an earthquake, and you become having these body reactions, the heartbeat, the sweating, the shaking, the nausea, etc., then you have seismophobia. Seismophobia. What happens when you are afraid of heights? You don't want to go to high buildings. You don't want to go to any place that is very high. You are afraid of falling. You are afraid of uncontrolled fear of heights. We call this acrophobia. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Fear of the night or the darkness. You sleep with your lights on because you don't want to feel the darkness, because there will be a monster coming in the dark or something will happen in the dark. When you really are afraid of this, we say that we have nyctophobia. You are nyctophobic. Nyctophobic. Okay, nyctophobia, nyctophobic. Fear of crowds. Wow. You don't want to be around too many people. You don't like to go to concerts. You don't like to go to closed spaces with crowds. You don't like to go to shopping centers or department stores where there might be many people. You suffer from enochlophobia. Enochlophobia. Same word in Spanish, by the way, enoclophobica or enoclophobia. Enoclophobia. Fear of speaking in public. Okay, so glosso means words or speaking. Fear of speaking in public, when you really paralyze, if you have to give a presentation, if you have to talk to a bunch of people, then you suffer from glossophobia. And the last one, of course, when we are afraid of LGBTQ plus community, we say that the person, whoever suffers this, suffers from homophobia or is a homophobic. So I have shared this very short game to help you improve your vocabulary. If you are afraid of anything, please, if you want to share, give comments or talk about a situation when you felt very afraid and how you dealt with that situation. How did you overcome that situation? And just to finish this conversation, I would like to share with you a quote from H.P. Lovecraft, who was an American writer of weird science, fantasy, and horror fiction. And he mentions in one of his books that the oldest and strongest emotion of humankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is of the unknown. So yes, fear is there to help us survive. Fear is good, but it's better to learn to control it. We are afraid of what we don't know. We start imagining what could happen of this thing that I have never done or in a space that I have never been to, because also the brain is built to predict based on our past experiences, on our past knowledge. So that's why when there is something new for us, we become afraid. Be cautious, be careful, and dare to try the new thing. But think with your brain first. Okay? Thank you very much for being here today. And I hope you enjoyed the session. And I hope to meet you very soon. Thanks and bye.